Oh, hello. This is Colin.
Nice kitty.
And Lomo, the Wicked. Anyway, um, here I am. Welcome to today's tea, and today we have a special, unexpected episode. See, I got a package in the mail this morning. Now, when you think of tea, where tea is made, well, you often think about exotic places, Sumatra or the Himalayas, the hills of India, the China, of course, Japan, places that make tea, parts of Africa. But would you believe that there is actually a tea plantation in the United States? Well, there is. And today I received a package from my a friend and comrade, D. Blake Wirtz of North Carolina, who sent me a package of tins, here we go, of tea from the Charleston tea plantation. It's actually, Charleston is in North Carolina, but the tea plantation is in South Carolina at Mad Malau Island in South Carolina off the Maybach Highway. And yes, indeed, there is a tea plantation in America. Actually, there were plans to create a tea economy in the southern United States. Some people thought they could do it with steam power, but originally it was going to be done with slaves. This was just before the Civil War. So they were actually talking about doing a tea economy in the South, but the Civil War intervened and the idea was dropped afterwards. But it's kind of odd because when I think of tea, I generally think of highlands and mountainsides and places, misty, beautiful green mountains and terraces and things. But this is an island, low-level island on the coast of South Carolina. And I guess the thing about tea is that it needs three things to grow. It needs lots of wet, lots of rain, lots of heat and humidity, it seems. Oh, really? Well, yeah, I can deal with the rain, but all the heat and humidity is very unpleasant. I don't think I'd want to live where they make tea. Anyway, but what you also need is soil that drains. So you want a lot of wet, but you want the water to drain. So in the mountains, of course, things just drain off the side of the mountains. But in this island, apparently the soil is so sandy that it drains away the water nicely. So here we are. This is the first one. He sent me 3 tins, lovely little tins of tea, American tea. And this one is, of course, Charleston breakfast, as you can see. Yet another in the... I have no idea how many breakfast teas there are, but there's a lot of them. I love them all except for Canadian breakfast because they put maple syrup in it. Anyway, so let's give it a whiff. You can smells kind of grassy, a little bit of malty, perhaps. I mean, breakfast teas generally are quite strong, so I made some up, and it's a lovely color. What the Chinese call red tea, because it brews red. What we call black tea because the leaves are black. And here we go. Try it out. Oh, that is nice. That is nice. I mean, this is everything you want from a rich, robust black tea. It's, there you go. Oh, no, it repels her. But, no, it's a very nice tea. Perhaps, I mean, it's a breakfast tea, so it's going to be a basic one. There's no fruit or flowers or anything. But it is a good, strong, good tea, good to wake you up in the morning kind of tea. And I would suggest that if you're in the Charleston area, historical Charleston, which it's actually kind of, it's actually kind of works because Charleston was named after Charles II. Now, if you'll recall your English history, Charles II, Charles I had his head cut off by Parliament after the English Civil Wars. And then there was Cromwell as a sort of military dictator. And then there was the Restoration, and the fellow who was restored was Charles II. And this was also about the same time that coffee houses opened in London. Now, of course, coffee houses were also where most people actually first encountered tea. And the woman who is considered, well, at least by me, as the patron saint of tea in the English-speaking world is the woman Catherine of Braganza of Portugal. Of course, Portugal was one of the first of the mercantile powers to make it out to Asia and bring back Asian goods. And she brought with her a love of tea, which up to that point was pretty foreign to the English. So of course, we can thank Charles II's wife for introducing tea to the British. Well, of course, in 1688, the English decided they didn't like the idea of having a Catholic absolute monarch on the throne of England, so they replaced him with a much more pliable Dutch William, who became king. But still, the tea remains, and here we are. Cheers to Charleston, and thanks to Mr. Works. And I'll be sampling 2 more of these wonderful American teas in the days to come. Cheers.